Hi guys, Romans here and welcome to another music review. Today it's going to be Evergrey, A Heartless Portrait, The Orphean Testament.
Music review. Music review.
The first time I covered Evergrey on this YouTube channel was back in 2019 when they released The Atlantic, which is still my favorite album from them. It seems like they're kind of taking less and less time to come up with every record because The Atlantic came 3 years after the predecessor. Then they took 2 years to come up with Escape of the Phoenix, the album from the last year. Again, brilliant piece of work. And now, just something over a year later, they're back with another album, which actually came out today at the time of making this video. A Heartless Portrait, The Orphean Testament. I'm not sure how it's pronounced because there's E between H and A. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. But anyway, I've heard the album 8 times as of now, so let's dive right into the review. The album opens up with the first single, Save Us, which is really heavy, punchy, melodic, but also unpredictable, considering that this is a pretty traditional Evergrey song, but it still manages to surprise fans who are already familiar with their music. The chanting is powerful and the chorus, despite having all the trademarks of Evergrey, still feels fresh. Their second single, Midwinter Calls, is actually a first song I made a reaction to. So that was my first reaction video, so go check it out. You can find it here up there. This is basically an anthem, and I think that this song is gonna work really well live. And just generally, and this goes for the whole record, the songwriting couldn't be more on point. Ominous is the third track. It has such a strong atmosphere, plus the keyboard sounds are just absolutely stunning on this record.
To see new dawns, I'll carry on. I must believe this heat will care for me.
The next track, Call Out the Dark, has really great synths that kind of bring Escape of the Phoenix to mind, but not necessarily in like the melodies, but in how the keyboards are used. Then the title track, The Orphean Treatment, is a headbanger, but the chorus is just very similar to Eternal Nocturnal from their previous album. And whenever I'm listening to this track, I'm kind of expecting that chorus to come in, but it never does, obviously. This is a darker and a heavier track. I really like the mid section, and we even have a keyboard solo here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember them having keyboard solos on the previous albums. Reawakening is a song that sounds very bright, especially because of the keyboards, and just the like synth and keyboard textures on this album are absolutely out of this world. And generally the whole band is just like on a whole another level. Another darker, almost an evil sounding track is the Great Unwashed, and I love the mid section, which has just such a strong atmosphere.
We'll always unite in the end. We're stronger than most, just pretend.
Before we continue, just a little reminder, I make these reviews from a viewpoint of a musician, as I'm a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobe. Heavy prog rock without guitars but with saxophone. You're gonna wanna check it out. All of the links to my debut album are in the description of this video below. The second album will drop sometime this year. Another great track is Heartless. It's interesting how well written and catchy these songs are, but at the same time they're not cliche. They really take time to grow on you. This makes the album immediately accessible, but at the same time very rewarding upon revisited listenings.
I'm tired of the leaves and I'm tired of breathing you. Tired of dreaming of times that won't come true. So tired of feeling. I'm tired of feeling.
Blindfolded was their third and the last single, which I also made a reaction for, so you can check it out here. It's again a heavy and powerful track. It kind of brings Where August Mourn from the previous album to mind, and we also have a keyboard solo here.
Something more beautiful, even acceptable. We need to open up our eyes and leave the dark tides coming.
The final track is kind of a surprise. We have Wildfires, which is essentially a ballad, very minimalistic. We don't have any drums there, and it kind of reflects Silent Skies, I think, the side project of Tom England. Very emotional piece, and I especially love the fretless bass solo, which is kind of like a cherry on top. Some final thoughts about the album. Evergrey is one of those bands that if you listen to their discography chronologically, it all sounds kind of the same, and there are very subtle differences between the individual records. But if you take their first album and the last record, the difference is going to be quite huge. This is great about them, that they don't deviate too much from their formula, which makes every record instantly familiar. But at the same time, every record is different enough to kind of stand on its own, if it makes any sense. Also, I'm generally not a big fan of overproduction like some of the artists like David Townsend or Prince. You know, I love them, but they've released so many records that these records just don't really feel important. And considering that this is the 13th studio album from Evergrey in like 25 years, this album feels important, it really does. Evergrey are considered to be the melancholic kings of metal, but I wouldn't really see their music as melancholic. I mean, if you want melancholy, go and listen to Leprous. But Evergrey, despite being really dark and having some elements of sadness, no doubt about that, their music is very hopeful. There's so much hope that it makes each one of their records, or most of them anyway, listenable at basically any time. Also, considering that they've been doing this for almost 25 years, and this is their 13th studio album, I think we are just witnessing Evergrey at their peak, which in my opinion started with The Atlantic, and the last three albums just maybe their best. Have you heard this album already? If you have, you can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. If you are an Evergrey fan, you can let me know how well do you think it compares to their previous albums and which one is your favorite one. All the links where you can follow me are in the description of this video below, along with the link to my Spotify playlist, which I'm updating every 2 weeks, and I'm sure you're gonna find a lot of great artists there, so go and check it out. Also, if you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my pretty popular worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews, videos, reactions and whatnot as well. Thanks a lot for watching.